Hey everybody, and welcome back to my channel for this fine weekend across the world where you may be at. And today I've got an article for you from the National Autistic Society here in the UK, which is the UK's largest autism charity, and the headline reads, Autism Assessment Waiting Times. Over 100,000 people waiting for an assessment across England. So as an autistic adult who's been assessed and diagnosed here in the UK, I thought it was important to bring it to your attention. So I'm going to read the article and then give my autistic perspective towards the end. So let's get into it. Latest NHS data shows that over 100,000 people are waiting for an autism assessment in England. This is a huge figure and an increase of up to 40% in a year. The government needs to grip the autism diagnosis crisis and invest in diagnosis service as set out in the National Autism Strategy. And autism diagnosis is vital for everyone to get the right help and support. The NICE guidance is clear. No one should be waiting longer than 3 months between being referred or first seen, but the data shows that people are currently waiting much longer than this. The government needs to be committed to reducing diagnosis waiting times. If the government doesn't stick to their promise, the wait for the autism assessments will start going up. The NHS only started collecting this data back in 2018 after many years of campaigning from charities, advocates and campaigners. So what do I think as an autistic adult, you may hear me ask? Good question. So what are my thoughts as an autistic adult? My thoughts as an autistic adult is that I believe strongly that the government needs to be kept accountable, as well as the NHS to be kept accountable on how long the autism assessments is likely to be, as this can affect the person's mental well-being. I agree that nobody should be waiting more than the 3-month period between being referred or first seen. As a woman who had to wait 3 years start to finish, it is completely unacceptable, and I hope that nobody has to wait this long to get assessed and then diagnosed. What I do not understand is why the NHS did not start collecting this data until 2018. So where have they kept the data before now and the assessments before now? I know in my part of the UK the autism service was only established in 2012, which I feel was still way too late. I am happy to hear that the campaigners and advocates are keeping the government and NHS accountable. My experience of being assessed was long, because at first my doctors refused to help me. They told me I didn't have any legal help to stand on. Then I refused to go back the first time. Then my dad and auntie were the ones who made me go back, time after time after time. So, then I end up making a move to a different doctor's surgery, to my dad's doctor's surgery, because they seemed more open to help me than the first lady who told me that I didn't need an assessment because Gemma clearly didn't have it. So again, I refused to go back. And then I had to go back again and again and again, and I got misdiagnosed, as many of you already know my story. So for many people, this can cause anxiety, and then I was referred to a mental health link worker called Alan. Alan did the referral for my autism diagnosis after telling me the story about his son, even though it was not part of his job description at the time and could have got himself into trouble. Even though the assessment and diagnosis in total took me 3 years, it was a struggle to get for a while to get the process, but without the help of Alan and the medical support team that I had, I would never have got the referral or help or diagnosis or support that I was likely entitled to, but I was very lucky. But I hope the NHS and UK government can reduce the waiting times, because I know how much anxiety this can cause for the person and their families and friends and professionals they may deal with around them. This is an ongoing crisis. This is an ongoing problem. The problem is there is not enough people trained in autism, I believe. This is caused by lack of funding. This is caused by lack of autism awareness at the government. This is caused by a lack of awareness of autism training at the NHS. It is to do with people needing to be hired who have lived experiences with autism like myself, who are more than open to talking with you and educating you. I would love to work in the field of autism and get paid for my experiences, because I could help so many people get their referrals, to get their treatment that they're so rightly entitled to, because enough is enough. Adults are struggling, young people are struggling, children are struggling. We need to end the crisis. The UK government needs to step up to the NHS, make the NHS refer people to private organisations if they so need it to be done, because having an autism diagnosis will change your life. Regardless of how you see it, if you don't agree with it or you really are desperate for the diagnosis does put many opportunities into your life to talk to people, to meet people who you may not have met before, and this is just an ongoing problem. I don't like the fact that right now in my hometown, from what I'm aware of, the wait is a minimum of 3.5 years. So again, this can be a massive problem for mental health, for not just the person who's waiting for the diagnosis or referral, but for their parents, professionals, medical professionals who they may be working with. I'm calling on the UK government to step up and end this and do this quickly and get more people seen, because otherwise if I didn't get an emergency referral, I would have been still one of these people who are waiting in the queue right now in the system. The system is broken, it doesn't work. The system doesn't look after the ones that it needs to, and it's about time that autism was more of a priority for the UK government, not just for me, but for many adults, young people, young children, young men, young ladies who are going through the system right now, who are struggling, because enough is enough. Enough excuses from the government, enough excuses from the NHS. I know the NHS is understaffed and we're on panic stations and stuff, but we need to get people seen. The more we get people seen, the more we can refer them and signpost them to other agencies and to more treatments if they need it, counselling, therapy, anything of that nature. I'm not advocating for therapies, not at all, but if they need therapies or they need support that would be best for their mental well-being and physical well-being, then so be it. But I hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit about my experiences and me reading this article. I will link it down below for you, but I just feel this is such an important issue that people need to know about. This has gone on for far too long. Like I said, my local hometown didn't have an autism service until 2012. I wasn't diagnosed until 2014. So it took 2.5, nearly 3 years, and that's bad considering that I was put to post, backwards and forwards, because the doctor's like, no, Gemma, you talk, you function, you're able to make eye contact with people, no. And therefore, my parents had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. It wasn't until I started getting anxiety issues and socially withdrawing from people and not wanting to be out in public that there was an issue, that the doctors then decided that I was worthy of a mental health assessment, which led then to the autism assessment, which I had to go to the mental health assessment team and then go to the autism assessment team. And it just took so long to get through the system, and the system does not work, especially from my own perspective of being a woman. They're more than likely to assess men and boys, because men and boys are more obvious with their symptoms and their traits, whereas women tend to mimic and mask their way through society. We often don't get picked up, or we don't often get asked for a diagnosis because we try so hard to fit in that we don't often get what we need to, the help, the right support, and the right people being around us. But I'm calling on the NHS, the mental health system. Let's do better. Let's work together. Let's do something that we can make better changes for everybody, and let's get autism more in the medical priority. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I'll be back soon. Bye.